haven't been in G3 that long, but people not raiding enough is generally a thing I see. Not as much now, obviously being in malicious at the top, but yeah, being able to grind all your runes, it just gives all your units like that little extra bit where, you know, like you don't get soloed at the end, or you're able to survive and bring out that win. So, you know, raiding is, I don't think people do it enough, and especially now being solo, it's really good.
So yeah, first of all, Ichi is correct. A lot of people do not raid. I even noticed this even during the RTA days, when the reason why our runes are usually better is because of how much we invested into raiding for grands and gems. Another thing is our leadership at Malicious really work hard, and also the members are there to support them. Watching all the leaders, the time, effort they do on preparing offenses, defenses, talking to each player directly, privately, and just getting ready for the Siege tournament motivates you for sure, because with the amount of work they put in, you really don't want to let them down or whatnot. And another thing is, you know how we can see how much people farm? It really shows how lazy I am. And I'm like, wow, these people are far exceeding how much effort they're spending on the game and time, and I need to work on that. And since then, they've helped a lot. So it's just having a good communication with their guildies and work to improve with each other. You're not competing against each other, but in a way you are as well, right?
Well, I will say one of the things that we do is really focus on communication and guild culture. We, like Jeff said, don't compete directly with each other, but we like to add fun little competitions in. We really focus on communicating very clearly and concisely. We've changed how we hit towers. We've changed tactics. We've changed farming styles. We've done quite a bit to try and catch up with, the titans in the front.
Yeah, and then as an individual, one of the things I think that was kind of a little bit of culture shock that I really had to work on myself was just finding, being comfortable with my monster box. What am I comfortable hitting? What is going to help the guild? What can I do to help the guild the most? Like, am I a 4-star guy that goes 7-0 on 4 stars? Or am I a 5-star guy who can hit all these bruiser defenses and knock them out? So, within our guild, we have guys who really excel at certain things. Some guys are like cleave gods, and we just let them cleave the heck out of the map. So it's really just kind of about finding what you're really good at and then really accentuating that within your guild.
Help your friends with the attacks, share your runes. If the rune has a high efficiency, save it. You might not use it right now, but it's useful in Siege. The meta changes a lot.
I have to say, build a lot of dupes. And I'm still missing, I'm so late about the dupes, but I'm working on them. But I think if you use a safe attack, nothing is free, as Jeff said, but if you have a really safe attack, and you do the dupes and use them multiple times, you will get really high chances of winning. And also change the runes for the dupes, one to the other, and also work on the artifacts, because I think into this meta, the artifacts counts a lot. It's really, really good.
I think communication and just overall just try to talk with your guildies, and if there's any questions, just cover each other. Weaknesses is something that everyone has, but if we cover each other's weaknesses, you're just kind of you're gonna come up really far ahead. I think another aspect that people need to pick up on is just have overall good account management. What I mean by that is, other than interacting with all your monsters in your monster box, your rune inventory and your artifact inventory, it's a very good habit to regularly clean out and truly understand the depth of your substats within those runes and artifacts. And you want to try to cover your weakness, because when you farm for those resources for runes and artifacts, it's not easy to find improvements. But what you can do is try to build depth, and by doing that, you overall just raise up the average of your rolls, and you can discard your runes and artifacts that are the least efficient, and that would overall just improve your account much more in the long run.
But yeah, so going back on the management and going back on and paying off of Osito Sino, when you want to switch runes, especially with you using the same offense, right? switching runes and switching artifacts, you got to get into the habit of not being lazy. Like if you're gonna, I know it costs a lot of mana switching runes, but especially people who don't switch artifacts too. Like I've fallen into that problem too. Like I don't think this guy's defense that strong, so I'm just gonna swap the rune. Don't swap the artifacts.
Everything.
Just use the whatever that's on it, and you lose because you're like 1% off because you didn't cleave well with the Lucian. Like you have to get into the habit. If you're gonna use your top Lucian, just switch everything. Make sure that, and if you switch runes or like pull runes from other people, remember to put it back because you forgot your defense is there. And people are missing like 2 artifacts or missing like a whole set of or 3 pieces of violent runes. Yeah, that's a problem. So you just make sure, just remember, and just get in the habit of like management. Exactly, Marco said. Especially if you're gonna do like dupes.
We all know that guild siege is something that normally you plan for. You guys are like on Discord and some other type of communication, especially when it's a tournament, right? But maybe in other times or something has happened that you have to do stuff in real life, and you have to attack from somewhere that
is not advantageous.
It's not the place where you
desirable.
wanted to be attacking. So what's the weirdest or most fun place that you've had to attack for that it just happened?
Okay, so not just for Siege, because Summoner's War is a mobiles game, you have played the game in the weirdest areas in life. Whatever you're doing or whatever, sometimes you have to do it. I did SWC this year, prelims, outside the McDonald's in my car at 8 a.m. I did Arena Rush back then at EDC in Las Vegas.
Well, it's not even worse. It was kind of funny because it was a second Siege tournament. I was in SSA, and the tournament just so happened to land on the weekend of one of my cousin's birthday, which wanted to go to Atlantic City, so I had to go. So we were out. Well, I was in the lobby of a casino with low battery, with wall literally like next to an ATM machine's wall, like charger, right? Like with my charger, like with the wall stuck. Like I sent a picture to Discord. I was like, "Look at me! I'm doing Siege finals, like." In the middle of the lobby of a casino.
Honestly, given that I'm still a college student, I don't really have a lot of commitments.
There's 2. One of them I was at my best friend's wedding, and I had to coordinate some attacks. I'm not really sure why there was a Friday wedding, or B, why we still had Siege going on a Friday. But I had to actually excuse myself to mark a couple towers and come back. And the attacking story, I was on a date in Chicago. I'm not from anywhere near Chicago. And yeah, that was an interesting, I have to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
No further explanation. It's bathroom time.
That's really good.
All right, so this past Siege tournament coincided with my son and daughter's first week of school. And during the Siege tournament, the first 2 kind of opening salvos are really important. So I did a hit right before, right at open at 3 o'clock Eastern time when it opened. I rush in the car, get to my son's school, which is about 20 minutes away, and it's a long wait line to pick him up. So the next towers come up, so I'm in the waiting line, just doing an attack, trying to get it off before I have to pick him up to get him in the car. I've got to pay attention and all this. And this was the first 2 rounds of the Siege tournament, I did this, and it worked out. I did all right, but yeah, it's you do what you got to do basically to get those attacks in.
I hope your wife doesn't watch our channel.
I know. I was gonna say something. In that moment, Summoner's War comes first.
3 kids.
3 kids. One is Summoner's War.
If you guys want to say something, either shout out someone, the guild, anything like that.
You guys don't always get the chance to talk directly to other guilds that you might have fought in the tournament. If there's anything you want to say to each other, I don't know.
Good luck next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Evan, why did you?
Okay, in all reality though, I do want to say thank you for coming to us for putting a little more light into Siege. After being a Siege player, I really do realize that the Siege players all deserve recognition as well. The amount of effort and time they put in is actually, I would say, far exceeds RTA players.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I want to say seeing some like the new, not even new guilds, because like Sinfully Deep has been in, and OC Tocino has been in like the guilds forever. Like you guys did, like honestly, you guys have gotten really strong. You guys like organized up, like even now, like we just like finished this last siege right with you guys. Like you guys are like you do really good. Like props, Archmage, CP, and Osito, like you guys did great in the last tournament too. Just want to say that.
Thanks for that, man.
It's always nice to have some quick front runners to chase.
I'd like to just thank my guildies, the other Vice Ryu, and Waikas for being very competitive and keeping SSA strong. It's just a guild that I'm very proud to be repping, but I guess we're going to have to take another shot against Malicious in the finals again.
Calm down, Jeff.
Hey, 3P!
So right now I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be here talking with you guys and discussing about Siege. That was becoming into the spotlight every time more, and I'm really happy about this because it's a great content. And also I wanted to thank my guildies, the leadering.
One nice thing about the Siege tournament is that it opens more places to be competitive in the game. But here in Oxitocina, not every great Siege player is also a great RT player. Sometimes they only like Siege. They just don't care about RTA. And if Comtrust didn't give any attention to Siege, they wouldn't have a place to compete. And it's nice that now we have those tournaments.
I want to thank my entire Go community, 9 Bandits, awesome group of people. At this point, almost 7 years in, it's the people that keep me playing. The game is amazing, but at the end of the day, you want to play with friends.
Yeah, just a big shout out to Simply Deep and everybody who put in all the effort throughout the whole season. Ups and downs, but we came together as a group and just really put in the effort to get into the top 4.
Yeah, so I just want to give a shout out to my guildies. Thanks for giving me the shot in Malicious. I want to say GG to my former guildies in SSA. It was a good siege, and
so we know that many players move guilds and go from rival guilds to other ones. And the question is, if you could steal one player, only one person from a rival guild, who would you want to steal for your guild? Starting with Itchy.
I think I'm gonna go 2 different routes with this one, and definitely obviously from SSA because they are the second guild. It would either have to be True Whale because his monster box is insane, and it's always nice to have those options when you're trying to make all those defenses. But for a more overall well-rounded player, it'd probably be a FaZe Marco up here. He's a great player and a really good guy.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you so much.
Ryujin, in front of you. He's trying to steal your play. Did you just see that move?
Yeah, and
I have nothing to do with this. I have nothing to do.
I saw it. I saw through it.
Very slick. What about you, CP?
I actually think I would take somebody from Mithril who's not on here. Simba. He's just just got insane runes, insane monster box. Just every time I look up, he's 10-0'd somebody else on offense. So I'll go with Simba, somebody from Mithril.
If I had to steal anyone, it would actually be from a G2 guild. Too legit to crit. I would still steal my former guildmate, King. He is absurd. He is the king.
Well, if I could steal someone, it would be Carioca, back from SSA, because he's playing outside, but he belongs to the Alambrado. Everyone knows that.
He just left. He just left, and you're like, let's go, come back.
Of course he needs to come back.
So I think that I have to take another one to go back. That is Igor ES. Nice guy and always great monster box and great siege player. I think that I would take
Probably
Igor ES back from the SSA.
Brazilian players.
Yeah, it's really, really strong.
If I had to take, since our rival guild is Malicious, there's only one straight answer. I would be taking back OMC, Omar Charles, he is a very intellectual player. He definitely mentored me in a few aspects, and overall just made me. He probably just invigorated my passion for Siege, just because of how impressive his Siege knowledge is. I definitely look up to him. So if I could, I would definitely yoink him back.
Yeah, so I got two routes on this. First of all, there was original people that I wanted to create a whole guild with before, and Jeff knows. It was Jeff, Josh, and Chris. Well, Chris was in SSA already, but I've always wanted Josh and Jeff to come into, like, when I was in Apocalypse, you know, when we were in SWC, like, they were always like RTA players. So I was always like, yo, you guys want to join, you know, do Siege? They're like, not really. But, you know, now Siege is more important. It's like, they're like, oh, look, now, well, yeah. Things happen the way things are, right? But I've always wanted, you know, all of them together. You know, now we're all in separate guilds. But and then the other route is an old school player in Malicious, like Chris 041. He's a really top player, smart guy. You know, I've talked to him. You know, we've been good friends. You know, when I was in Malicious, then, you know, like, I moved to SSA, kind of lost in touch, but he was always a great player. He's a great Siege player.
There are tons of players that I'm friends with in the game. I've met a lot of people throughout the guilds, but obviously the right choice is to take someone from a rival guild. And as someone who has the best art line in SSA, I would love to have Marco in our guild. And, you know, he kind of want to join Charles anyways. I think we can work something out.
Look at the deals being made live. We just wanted to thank you guys for spending this time with us, sharing your knowledge, your experience, and love for the game. And we can guarantee you that we're going to keep fighting to get even more stuff and more competition into the guild content, because whatever you guys do, it's amazing.